Yes, how didn't you know that it was a type of fish? Not reacting to cause. What is cause? No, reacting to vsause.
Dad.
Reacting to vsause. Gotta go. Don't hold me like this anymore.
Hey, vsause, Michael here.
Wow, this is a fun video. I love this video.
Big burger.
Ah! Anyway.
I discovered an ambigram in the wild. Guys, this is...
Oh, I didn't mean to click out the video. I was watching this video. I was like, oh.
What's the best way to destroy the sun?
What is the best way to destroy the sun?
Partly spray water all over it.
Hey man,
What's
what
the
is
best way to destroy the sun? Could a cosmic fire department spray water
A very good way.
all over it and put it out? Well, kind of. But the
I need to plug in my. I need to disconnect my headphone from my tab. You won't be able to hear the video. You won't be able to hear the vsause Michael here. Hi, vsause Michael here.
I'm craving pizza.
You are craving pizza. That's great.
if all life on Earth was destroyed while the crew of the International Space Station looked down and watched, how much longer would they have? Well, if we assume that a return to Earth is impossible, the space station itself could support them for quite a while. Depending on how many astronauts are up there and how recently a resupply occurred, they could ration food and water and survive for more than 2 years.
Great.
The water they use is recycled. There are cathedrals everywhere for human eyes to see. For example, I have a Lego figurine of myself, and I hear you saying, "Oh, that's not very realistic." Well, guess what? I also made a topless one. I've also started a barf bag collection. Some of them are pretty standard, but some of them say some pretty cute things. I wish I was a popcorn bag. Aww. But check out this one from Air New Zealand. It is gigantic. This is like the love seat of barf bags. There's room for Tooter Ralph in here.
Great, man.
Hey, do you want to see some banned books? Come
Yeah.
here.
I want to see some.
The Grateful Dead, the Beatles, banned books. Now check this out. My friend Dory over at WASC makes a piggy bank that is so small it only has room for a single coin. She calls it Stretched Thin. Oh, and remember that illegal selfie I took at the White House? Well,
Stretched thin.
while I was there, I pocketed some of their disposable hand towels.
Why? Why did you steal the White House and
There are
disposable?
cathedrals everywhere. I love mechanical toys that require no batteries, and one of the most fun to watch is Screwball Scramble. It was released by Tomy in the 1980s, and the goal is to guide a ball bearing through a series of
That's
obstacles
really cool.
connected via linkages to buttons and knobs. Now right now I've got the ball on a magnetic
it's so
crane,
loud.
and if you give it enough juice right here, it'll go all the way down those
Go, go,
rods
go,
onto
go,
the
go,
platform,
go,
but I
go,
did
go,
not
no!
give it enough, which means I'm going to need
Sorry.
to open the rods up to get the ball moving
Sorry.
and close them before... okay, let's try one more time. Open them up, close... Perfect. Okay, now this part can be pretty tricky unless you're me. A few quick jumps on
Unless
these
you're
cylinders
what?
will set us up for a big jump through that yellow hoop onto the little blue ramp and into the covered maze. I love this part
Colored
because you
maze.
cannot see the ball. As you move the platform around, you have to rely on your sense of sound and touch to figure out where the ball is. Like, a lot of you are probably thinking, yeah, what is that, a 10 millimeter ball? A 12 millimeter ball? Wake up. It's a 14 millimeter ball, and it is ready for a rocket ride. This rocket... Perfect. Okay, now this part can be pretty tricky. What if the platonic solids stop being platonic? Today, we're going to nest them in a way that maximizes the number of shared axes of rotational symmetry. It was first discovered by John Conway and begins with a pentagonal pyramid and then another. If we connect them butt to butt, we get a
If
pentagonal...
we connect them, what now?
It is fake, butt to butt, and I killed him. I connect them. What the hell?
Christmas is about the birth of a baby who grew up to be an egg beater? During
What?
WinterCon last year, I visited Cosmic Christ, a 42
No, not
foot
you.
tall outer space
He
Jesus
said-
made
okay.
of... Christmas is about the birth of a baby who grew up to be an egg
Jesus, Christmas is about the birth of a baby who grew up to become an egg beetle.
Peter,
Egg
during
beetle.
PeterCon last year, I visited Cosmic Christ,
Yeah.
a 43-foot tall outer space Jesus made of 14
I
golden
don't
Italian
know.
tiles laid out on Huntsville, Alabama's First Baptist Church.
No,
Huntsville
he's not.
is Rocket City, USA, so it's fitting that their Jesus
Oh,
is
it's because
cosmic
there's a
and
painting of Jesus, and it looks like he's an egg beetle. That's why. Why is he so white though?
people is a rocket. I think that originally this was intended to be spinning robes, but its similarity to a whisk is why everyone calls it Egg Beater Jesus.
Egg beetle
Although historians
Jesus.
widely agree that there really was a Jewish guy named Jesus who lived in the Herodian Empire of Judea in the 1st century and had a following, not a single one of them believes that his legs were made of a series of wire loops. But if you
no one
time
said
traveled
his-
back to
no
Galilee
one
in the
said
late
his
20s and found him
Jesus
walking
was
around on the
Peter.
street and ran up to him and said, Jesus, he'd probably be like, Gesundheit? Because no one called him Jesus during his lifetime. His original name, the name that his mom and like his best friend across the street called him, was probably more like Yeshu.
Yeshu.
If we had named
It was
this
Yeshua.
holiday after his original formal name and not his title, these would not be Christmas presents. They would be Yeshu Bar Yosef Hanatsri Presents. These jelly beans were part of a psychological experiment whose results have never seen the light of day
Jelly
until now. It all started 6
Jelly
years ago when I went back to my
bean.
old high school to build a tiny brain made out of people that could recognize numbers.
Jelly
On that
bean.
same day, we ran a second experiment simultaneously that was based on a contest held in 1906 in Plymouth. Hundreds of people were asked to guess the weight of an ox. Now, no one's
I am the
time
weight of
used
an
to
ox.
breathe, but then we turned it into sand, into a commodity, something that can be spent, wasted, served. We shackle our wrists with it, and that is why I think this is the best, most useful sundial ever invented. It was designed by Richard Schmoyer in the 1950s, and with the cooperation of his family, there is a new and updated model in the next Curiosity box. Unlike most
I don't know why I'm
sundials, it
acting
doesn't
so
tell solar
surprised.
time. It tells civil time, the time found on phones, watches, and clocks, the time your body... What's the best way?
What time is it?
If you want to overthrow the US government,
No,
all you
it's
have to
2
do is
o'clock.
wait. Because right now, 315 million
Wait.
years ago, if you want to overthrow the US government,
I
all
wanna
you have to
overthrow
do
the
is
US
wait.
government.
Because right now, there are 11 days each year that the US recognizes as federal holidays. The first 4 were codified in 1870, but since 315 million
I'm
years ago, the
Space
Earth
UK.
looked like Yoshi. A square can be toothed so as to mesh with another square, and then 2 others in a square arrangement.
Oh.
Our solenoid engine is complete, and it comes with
So
some
many
pretty unusual
squares.
gears. If you like being ticked off, our Geneva mechanism converts constant rotational motion into periodic rotational
Okay,
motion.
squares.
But if you want something more organically shaped, try our Nautilus gears. Their gear
Whoa.
ratio is 1:1, but as the driver turns, its lever arm changes
Oh.
length, so their speed during each rotation is variable.
I'm confused
Watch
about
as
what
they
I'm
all
watching.
complete one turn simultaneously in different ways.
What?
Can you figure out what's going on here? That's right, these are direction-changing gears. The small gear meshes with the lower teeth and turns clockwise until it's caught by the upper teeth and turned counterclockwise. Finally, my favorite arrangement, the Nautilus butterfly. The gears turn, but also expand and contract, like the wings of a monarch that deserves to be free, but is pinned by axles for our enjoyment
Oh.
and horror.
Oh.
A square can be
Okay.
toothed so as to mesh with another square, and then 2 others in a square arrangement. No one really knows what this word means, and yet
Measle.
it determined the moment of Abraham Lincoln's death.
It did?
That night, Lincoln was at Ford's Theater watching a comedy, Our American Cousin. Now, John Wilkes Booth hoped to
What?
conceal the sound of his gunshot under a loud noise from the crowd,
Right.
so he waited for the biggest laugh of the night to occur, which always
Later
occurred
in
halfway
the
through Scene
plan.
2, Act 3, right here on page 37, when a character uses the completely silly made-up word sockdologizing as an insult. Sockdologizing was Booth's cue to pull the trigger. Here's the line. It is the very last thing Abraham Lincoln ever heard. In this moment, the hoity-toity
Just a
proper
small
Englishwoman,
child.
Mrs. Mount Chessington, says to Asa, the crude American cousin, "Oh, you are not used to the manners of good society, and that alone will excuse the impertinence of which you have been guilty." Asa replies, "Don't know the manners of good society, eh? Well, I guess I know enough to turn you inside out, old gal, you sockdologizing old man trap." No one really... A mathematician
Man,
confided
sure
that the
hope.
Mobius band is one-sided, and you'll get quite a laugh if you cut one in half because it stays in one piece when divided. The author of that limerick is unknown, but check this one out from Lee Mercer. A dozen, a gross, and a score, plus 3 times the square root of 4, divided by 7 plus
Why
5
is
times
he
11 is
rapping?
9 squared and not a bit more. Lee Mercer also wrote the famous palindrome, a man, a plan, a canal, Panama. Now, would you like to hear some mathematical limericks that I wrote? Well, you're going to anyway. Repeated subtractions are blind, but when you see zeros combined, any number will do both a lot or a few, so we say the whole thing's undefined. 100, 2 tens, and an 8 times the root of a constant that's great, when followed just so by the string 980, has a bottom that's not about hate. And finally, here's a great one from Matthew on Stack Exchange. The integral t squared dt from 1 to the cube root of 3 times the cosine of 3 pi over 9 is the log of the cube root of e. A mathematician confided that the Mobius band is one-sided, and you'll get quite a laugh if you cut one in half because it stays in one piece when divided. The author of that limerick is unknown, but check this. If you can't stop yapping, you've got... You fail, you will be